Welcome to the podcast that questions everything, from conspiracies to philosophy, from science to religion. We will be looking at the construct of the illusion, and as always, we will question everything. Hello and welcome to Everything's an Illusion, a podcast where we question everything. I'm your host, Rob Wallace, and once again joined by the bearded master of sci-fi, Mr. Greg Andrew.
Hello sir, it's been a while, but thanks for having me back on the show.
Thanks for having me back on the show.
Well, it's your show, you can have whatever you want on it. If you want to be on your show, you be on your show.
So it has been a while, and there's no actual any reason for that but life. You know, what a fantastic reason for.
It's been the summer holidays here in Scotland, so we've been out enjoying that kind of glaring sunshine that bursts upon this fair land for 8 weeks, and we can't do podcasts if the sun's that bright.
This is true. It's true.
So, although when I did go camping, it rained, and I had to abandon the campsite because the weather in Scotland sucks.
Man of the wilderness, Greg Andrew.
Yeah, I fucking Bear Grylls it for like 20 minutes, and I was like, balls to this. Let's pack up the car and go to the caravan.
So what do we have for the good people in this fantastically fine episode?
Nothing has happened in the world in the past months or so. It's been very quiet. I'm surprised we're even doing this.
You survived Hurricane Ballbag 7 in your tent.
In my tent.
So, you know, that's it. The world has been put to rights. It was a great show.
Thanks very much. If anything does pop up, we'll have another one, but that's fine. See you later, guys.
So in this episode, we're going to cover some of the biggest and baddest TV, because we always fire in a bit of TV, obviously. Obviously, the name of the podcast is Everything is an Illusion, so we'll have a look at Game of Thrones, Rick and Morty, USA, like what the fuck is happening in the United States of America at the moment. And then we'll have a look at the Mayweather McGregor boxing fight, and then we'll question whether the ancient gods existed. Doesn't that sound like an action-packed podcast? You know I think it sounds like the most action-packed podcast ever. So I think just to start that off, the first thing we do is we jump straight into Game of Thrones. But before we jump into Game of Thrones, remember, folks, the podcast is sponsored by the Energetic Mind t-shirts. That's www.theenergeticmind.com. Fantastic fucking t-shirts. And Smartphone Media Production, a book about using your smartphone, your iPhone, and doing everything with it, from videos, photography, live streaming. Do it like a pro. Smartphonemediaproduction.com.
Which is racing up the Amazon book charts as we speak.
Certainly is. 6 5-star reviews at the minute. None from yourself, but there is 6 5-star reviews. And
I didn't buy mine on Amazon. Can I still go on and make a review?
Can, yes, yeah, you can leave a review on Amazon. You can review in it on Amazon. I suppose, in a sense, the review thing is it's just like TripAdvisors for locations and kind of touristy kind of things, and Amazon generally for books and products. Even if you don't purchase there, you can still review. So
I can go into Amazon, go to
anything you want.
I'll go to Smartphone Media, give it the review I feel is worthy of it. I won't review what it is. Tune in next time, and you can go into DVDs, Blu-rays, to the film Zodiac. And what would you give it, Rob, out of 5 stars?
I would give it maybe 4 stars. 5 stars. You could potentially give it 5 stars for changing my mind after all the years of slating it. And then, if you've never heard any of our previous podcasts, there's at least a few that I have slagged and ridiculed Zodiac. But I finally got round to watching it, and I admitted this in another podcast, and it was actually pretty good. It did suck me in, and then looking into all the documentary evidence and documentaries about the actual Zodiac Yeah, really good.
Cool. Well, I think we'll need to come back and do an actual episode on the Zodiac then. That sounds like a plan.
I like it.
Cool. Stay tuned.
Right, so let's jump straight into here. Everybody is watching the Game of Thrones, and if you're like most people, you're probably downloading it illegally the day before it comes out. You're trying to read the illegal scripts. You're trying to you're on YouTube listening to fantastic YouTubers like The Last Harpy or Game of Theories, and trying to work out and get ahead of the game by again try to work out what's happening, where's it going. So some ideas for you. Right, let's start off with the first one, Greg.
Okay.
The White Walkers and the Ice King. What are they all about? What's their game plan? Wada wada wada.
Well, first of all, I'd like to state here on this podcast that I do not illegally download Game of Thrones.
Either do I. I'm just saying.
I wait to the Monday when it's out in the UK, and then I watch it, and then I watch, there's a thing called Thronecast, which is a recap thing on Sky. I watch that, and then the next day I catch up on all those cool YouTube videos about it, which I think American people should realise. You get it 12 hours before us, so lay off the spoilers, people. At least give it 24 hours, then spoil away. Because I did see a dragon's eye turn blue on a forum, and it was just a random Facebook thing, and somebody put that up. That person is now dead because I tracked them down and killed them. But yeah, so I mean, it is possible. It must be the biggest TV program going, I would have thought. And the great thing about it is, well, we can go into
who are the White Walkers? That was the question.
That
was the question, motherfucker. You're getting into some HBO defence and non-copyright. No. Yeah. Who are the White Walkers?
Fucking
what is their purpose? Download
it if you want illegally. Doesn't affect me, but just don't fucking spoil it.
What's your theories? What are they all about?
Right, I as someone who's only read the first book.
What? You've not read the books?
No, I've got one of these things called A Life. You fucking nerd. So, and my impression is the White Walkers, or the Night's King, or those people up there are very. You're not seeing a lot in the books. They're like mentioned at the very beginning of the first chapter of the first book, and then it's just, you don't actually get chapters about them. They're just this kind of thing people talk about. So I'm kind of still in that stage where I don't know. They just seem to want to come south and make everybody zombies. If there's a master plan behind it, I am unaware of what it is. Now, in the show,
I can give you some of my crazy theories.
Right, well, let me just be like a normal person and just give what everybody else is thinking. Then you can go crazy on me. So, but we did see in the show the wee elf people, the wee tree people, creating the first White Walker, the Night King. Is that right?
Yep.
So they created them to protect them against man, and like all Frankenstein monsters, they turn on them. Somehow they get pushed away up to the other side of the wall, where they've been dicking about for 1,000 years, planning their revenge. And to be fair, the planning does seem to be paying off as we speak. So I know I've got a couple of theories about them, but I don't, apart from coming down, bringing loads of snow, making shit cold, and making folk zombies to live their life as zombies, I don't really see what else they're doing. I mean, that is, if I was in Westeros and that was what was happening, I'm sure that would be quite a scary thing.
Right, true. Well, taking you back there to the tree people.
Yep.
They obviously man is like a parasite. They grow, they spread, and they have loads of different ideologies. And R.R. Martin has explored that, the different religious, the different cultural, etc, etc. They don't really know who they are, and so to protect themselves, they make the Night King. The Night King in the Night Kingdom of Ice he does a deal, and we know that he's a man of deals because Craster's children, or his males,
the wee babies are taken away.
Get thingied away to him, and he makes White Walkers, legit badass motherfuckers from the children. Now, R.R. Martin has stated in the past that the whole Lord of the Rings kind of good versus bad, cliched kind of fantasy shit will not be happening in Game of Thrones, and it will be a bittersweet ending. Now, so we know that the fucking Night King does deals, so possibly the Night King done a deal with the men of the world, and basically said, I'm going to build this big fucking wall. Everything north of this wall is my territory, you stay the fuck out, but I will require you to send children north of the wall every so often, keep the deal and everything's good. And then over time, as just like the Night King, he probably disappeared in a magical sense for their realm, just like the dragons disappeared, and the men forgot about the deal, and we're kind of reminded that somebody like Craster was still carrying on the deal, and he was safe beyond the wall. They protected him, so there seems to be, in my mind, that during the thousands of years of the kind of non-winter time, men had turned into wildlings. They had stayed beyond the wall. They had forgot about the deals, that the ancient deal that they had strunk with the Night King. And he's basically, he doesn't want a war. He just wants his territory back. He just wants to be left to his own today's thing, and for his deal to be withheld, to be upheld. Now there's some strange things happening with him and Bran. Obviously has the same kind of strange time thing as Bran, the ability to see through time, and he has a strange connection with Bran, as he can see Bran and vice versa. So the whole last episode that was there, where it was fucking, they were sending birds down to for the wall down to King's Landing, to the north, Winterfell, and then for Winterfell to King's Landing, and then the dragon was flying up and all that, whilst the kind of long nights of what you would get in the Arctic, kind of long nights that you get. And the guys had to stand in the middle, and the Night King just kind of sat there. He was obviously waiting for the dragons. He played the game that they would hang the dragons so they could kill, or not kill the dragon, because he does the same as what he does to Caster's children. He touches it again and turns it into something similar to his kind of main disciples. It's not just like one of the kind of minions that he just kind of resurrects and they're kind of mindless frozen zombies. They're actually, he's made the dragon into something the equivalent of what it was, but ice. If that,
think it's going to shoot ice out.
I think it'll be frozen.
Interesting.
So, if he, I think, one of it was to give the guy credit, it's either the last heartbeat or the Game of Theories. He puts forward the idea that Jon will either have to kill Dany, the Night King, Dany or Bran, and both of them are linked to Jon's Jon will do a deal with the Night King, and Jon doesn't want to go to war. He's seen it again. He's developed into this kind of guy that doesn't want to do the war on any other option. The Night King will offer him an option, but Dany won't have it. She wants to kill, and to save humankind, if you like, the bittersweet ending could be Jon killing Dany.
Interesting.
Because she's not going to stop now that one of her dragons is befucked.
Aye.
And they've got that classic card with her the whole time. Her family are mad.
Yeah. Or the incest. Well. So what do you think about the Bran theory?
So the Bran
being the Night King.
So the Bran theory states that he is the Night King, and it's obviously there's some strange Star Trek, Terminator, fucking 12 Monkeys time thing happening. And we first caught that glance of Hodor, hold the door, Hodor. And then we see Bran hopping through history, again looking at his Jon's birth, looking at various things that he does now. He looks at through time, looks through history. The Night King also seems to have this ability to look through time, but it only shows you it connected to Bran. Can he do it independently? Does he have that kind of crazy power? You know, he was shoved with a dragon glass on one of the funny trees.
Yeah.
The weird trees or whatever by the people. So he might have some kind of power like that. So it's no this Bran, but it was another Bran. Maybe Bran
the Builder.
Aye, one of the original guys that kind of
did the deal.
Well, he wouldn't have done the deal because he done the one that done the deal with the Night King.
Right.
So you can't do the deal and be the guy who does the deal who turns into the Night King. But
could he?
Maybe there's maybe some sort of time thing happening there that
just makes everything a circle.
Obviously, any kind of time theorems always have flaws, but there's definitely something weird happening, and they're keeping, like, obviously Bran, Arya, she's doing something. There's something, and Jackiam, the guy who introduced her to the kind of faceless god.
Yep.
And he's still kicking about. He's done, and then there's fucking man in his ship that's everywhere, sailing about.
Euron.
He's got a big horn that can bind dragons, and he's got an egg. He's got a dragon egg. Mm-hmm. So maybe he's there was a part where he'd sailed to the wall. So maybe he's done a deal with the Night King. Gave him the egg and said basically, when a ship goes down, I'll do a deal with you to keep man at this side of the wall. As long as you do a deal with me, you keep me in power.
Yeah.
Okay, because the good thing about his character is there's loads of bits where he talks about how the others of the Iron Islands just listen to stories and stuff, whereas he lives the stories. He sailed to Valyria. He can hang with the dragon's egg.
This is book you're talking about.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's all the same hanging. It's the same story.
Well, I think you'll find the online community would differ when it comes to book versus show.
And then obviously you've got Jon. He's they've shown us now that he's the Bran and Arya, etc. He's their big cousin, and he's big cousin.
Ned's sister. So he's Dany's nephew,
and he's
their cousin.
So that obviously, when his true lineage is revealed, I don't think so far his character hasn't been one who's like each lineage is important. Yeah. And I don't think that they'll play that card that he then turns into this crazy I'm the king kind of cat.
Yeah.
I think he's more pinged with the task in hand, which is just like his blind maester that was a Targaryen and had all the lineage, and was like, no, that's not important.
Yeah.
And then that blind maester at the wall, he had stories of Reagan. Him. So I think there's a lot more. But Big R.R. Martin's bringing out a couple of books soon.
So he says. I mean, the show this season, because it's down to 7 episodes this year, then 6 next year, it really is cramming in. It is like people running from place to place. Like, time has been condensed. Like, they're trying to shove so much in. For me, I don't mind that. It's been okay. Some things are a bit annoying, but it does feel like sometimes it feels like it's rushing itself, whereas season 1, season 2 had a wee bit more time. That'd be my only criticism of the show. I don't know what's going to happen. I think it's because we don't have any books to go in. It can be pure guesswork.
I think we need to remember that the actual book title, if you like, the book series is called of Fire and Ice, the Songs of Fire and Ice.
Yep.
So if we go on the premise that, like all these kind of great fantasies, it's a continuous cycle where magic is real and then it disappears, and then the people, the aftermath, they grow up for a period of thousands of years, and the tales are real, and then after 1,000 years they're just, hey, magic's not real, and then magic presents itself again. In his world, I don't think, as we've seen great civilizations disappear and other great civilizations can appear, that seems to be like the illusion of any of these kind of things, a lot of fantasy books along this kind of theme of it's pointless, the whole war kind of thing. And R.R. Martin's been really good at kind of showing you just the devastation and the stupidity and there's no point in having war and all the death and tried to show alternatives through like communication and all that kind of stuff. So, as he said, it's a bittersweet ending. I don't think it's going to be the classic fucking big flying fire breathing versus cold breathing dragons with 10,000 on either side, and I think it's going to be something kind of lame, like somebody backstabs somebody and Arya fucking where a wee pointy needle goes up there and just saffins people like a deadly assassin, because that's like her whole character is basically she's been now made out to be essentially the best assassin in the whole place. So who do you send to kill the king? The best assassin.
I mean, it's although in the last episode, Beyond the Wall, there when they were on that wee island and all the zombie folk were about them, and I can agree with you. I think the Night King was kind of laying a trap so he could get a dragon or a couple of dragons. Just past seasons, I've always felt, oh, who's going to die here? But once Dennis Pennis was dead, I was like, well, nobody else is going to die now. There was a kind of wee bit of deflation, because I felt they're no killing MDF. Like was it a couple of weeks ago, a couple of episodes ago, they could have killed Jaime Lannister when he ran at a dragon and fell in the water, but you kind of felt, no, he'll probably be back next week. Yeah. They're not doing that thing where they kill.
They need Jaime. And I suppose that's the difference as well. You had R.R. Martin, who wrote an 800-page book and put every detail into it and covered every track and obviously done a lot of thinking about how things are. And in that last episode where the the Gendry ran to the wall.
Yep.
Sent a raven. The raven arrived. The dragon flew up. Whilst all that time, the Night King just waited. Mm-hmm. He never refroze the lake and advanced his army. He never done all the things he could have done. Now, obviously, the mind, because you're in season 7, R.R. Martin, everything's by design, it's not by. So your brain obviously goes to the Ice King had a purpose, he waited, it was intentional, but at the same time, it could just be the bastardisation of the books by TV, and now they've got script writers that are gone crazy and they don't really have all that kind of background to thing with, and they're fucking just hoofing it up. Yeah. Because and then obviously the fans fill the gaps with their own knowledge. Yeah. And that's why there's so many different theories out there, because shit's getting a bit kind of, everybody in his dug is filling up the gaps with their own knowledge, because the writer's never done what R.R. Martin does, which is fill every fucking gap and make everything
filled.
Aye.
Yeah, so interesting to see how it goes next week.
Well, hopefully it's not next week. Maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday would be good. Maybe like Thursday, that'd be good.
Well, if the hackers have their way, Rob, if the hackers have their way.
Oh, the last release wasn't a hacker, it was one of the...
No, it was HBO Spain or something like that.
And funnily enough, it was recorded, so that last hack was recorded on a phone, on a smartphone, using an Android smartphone, using a bit of software called MobiZen. Being the author of Smartphone Media Production, fantastic book, get it, smartphonemediaproduction.com. I use MobiZen to record tutorials on how to use apps, etc. So somebody watched it and recorded the whole fucking thing whilst they were watching it on their phone. That's why it had that red circle on the right hand side. You know what I'm talking about if you watched it.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, so
there we go. Okay, so that's a Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
That's
sorted.
Motherfucking done, like a motherfucking done thing. Do you watch Rick and Morty?
I do not watch Rick and Morty. No, you did tell me to watch Rick and Morty. But I'm an adult, so
let's just leave that there. To all you people out there who watch Rick and Morty, you're awesome. Greg's a loser. He'll learn one day that Rick and Morty is actually better than Game of Thrones. Oh yes, Pickle Rick. Okay.
It's on my list of things to watch.
They're only 20-minute episodes, so you can squeeze one out when you're on the pan.
I can watch 2.
That's real.
That is real.
That's like fucking real dangleberries. 40 minutes, man.
Welcome to Everything's an Illusion podcast.
That's it. Nothing off limits.
No.
So, United States of America. What's happening?
What I seem to have gleaned from just, casual viewer of the news, there was a civil war a couple 150 years ago. There was a civil rights movement in the 60s. Everything seems to be fine now. So, well done, America. You seem to be knocking it out of the park when it comes to integration. Good on you.
I watched a classic. It was a remake of a classic a YouTube video where the guy goes out there and he's got the map and he's like, "We're going to bomb North Korea. What's your thoughts on that?" And again, like, you think it'd be dangerous for the surrounding countries and that? Can you just
point out the map?
And there was people pointing to Canada. They were pointing to fucking Canada, and like there was one woman pointed to the United States of America. She fucking pointed to the United States of America, like this is. I think it's round about here. You're like, that's your own country, you fucking dickwad.
The videos are quite humorous at the time. Then you kind of think, how many people did you actually ask?
No, obviously it's
many
completely
you know what I mean?
selective in the sense of they maybe asked 70 people, 14 people said ridiculous things, and they 14 people made the cut. Well, the 15th person to who said North Korea is here and gave you fantastic information about North Korea, just for evening out. Obviously, it's you know how to make a film. I know how to make a film. We know how everything can be totally manipulated. But the fact that there was so many people, 15, that had no idea where North Korea was. Like even like one guy so chuffed that he placed it in Asia. He placed it in Asia and was chuffed. It's like, yeah, it is a big place. There's a few countries there. You know what I mean? 2/3 of the world's population.
Yeah.
But hey,
I mean,
well
technically,
done,
technically, he is correct. It is in Asia.
Oh no, yeah, but when you sort of like circle like half the globe and say it's in Asia, it's here in Asia.
I suppose so. Yeah. So yeah, America seems to be kicking off. So what do you think? Well, what's your perceived of what's happened, considering these statues and all that sort of stuff?
Right, so we have the alt-right and the Antifa, or the left.
Fascist guys.
We've got the globalists, and we've got the kind of nationalists. And obviously within each of these camps, there's so many different people. Because obviously when you cut the human race into male and female, and then saying all males are mathematicians and all females are literature or emotional, it's too general. You can't just say there's the right and there's the left, and the alt-right are all fascists and it's the classic. Here's something for you. I was discussing a flat Earth theory.
As you do.
And obviously, the first automatic thing that when somebody hears me say flat Earth, they reject it because they believe in a globe, they believe in a sphere. And then when I say, look, I believe in a flat Earth, I don't. But when I say I believe in a flat Earth, and then I say, and I know more about the reasons why science confirms that it's a sphere than you do, and you believe it's a sphere, but you've never done any research. I know your argument better than you know your argument. I know my argument better than you know your argument, because you don't know nothing about flat Earth, and yet you're going to argue against me. And I feel a lot of the times when it comes to the alt-right and then the Antifa or the left, people throw about the ideas like the alt-right, they're Hitler, they're this, they're that, but they've never actually read anything about what it is, what fascism is, what the right is, what their history is, because it's a taboo, just like the flat Earth is a taboo, or just like the globe, and actually questioning, do we live in a globe, how did it come about, etc., is a taboo. And then in American politics, the left, communism, socialism, etc., is also kind of a taboo. So a lot of people don't read or think about that. So I think
it's a bigger taboo in some places.
So I think in most places in America at the minute, it's actually just a case of, it's like two football teams. It's like, for whatever reason, be it family connections, be it the media they watch, whatever, I think about, I'll put a random number here, but say 80% of people on either side are joining the side for some non-academic intellectual reason. They've just, I'm fucking alt-right, flinging up the salute, and then the folk on the other side, I'm anti-fascist, but they've never actually thought about any of the things. like really actually thought about it, like the way most people go, no, the Earth is no flat, I live in a globe, and you're like, can you explain that, and why do we live in a globe, and how do you know it's a globe, and when you start pulling apart the thing, they don't really have anything because they've never thought about it. And that's enough for me, because that just puts the seed of doubt. But I think that's what's happening in America. There's a lot of powerful people with loads of money pumping loads into social media, loads into TV, and it's their agenda that the minions are fighting out on the ground, and they think that they're doing something.
Yeah.
But they're just a part of the chaos which has been created. Billionaires are fighting. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
You've got a president who is essentially a nationalist, who's against the global kind of way of doing things, and the globalists are totally against him, and they want him out. And again, Trump's whole thing about fake news, and the reason he's so up on that for, again, fake news is because the news channels are his enemy, because that's the other rich people that don't like him, who are all globalists.
Fucking Rob Wallace pro-Trump?
No. Rob Wallace.
No. Anti-globalist.
Quite the opposite. I am like my idea on the flat earth and the sphere. It's a case of you need to question taboos. You need to ask, is the earth flat? You need to ask, is the earth a globe? And you need to fucking sit in the middle and ask the questions. You can't just be, again, I'm against the right. How about you go and fucking check out their stuff, read their Twitter profiles, read some stuff, read some history, read some of the ideology that they fucking listen to the podcast or listen to, and then do the same. Go to the left, look at their Twitter feeds, look at their Facebook, read the fucking propaganda they're reading, read the fucking articles, listen to the podcast, and have some of your own thought in what is A, what is B, and what they are align with, as opposed to just going blindly on emotion, going, I'm this, I'm that, because the place that I was born, the culture of my people, etc., dictate that I have to think like this. That's a bit fucking dense. I know, maybe.
Well, I hear what you're saying about exploring other people's point of view, but the alt-right and the fascists kind of really go 100% against the grain of my fibre. You know what I mean? We've obviously been brought up in Scotland. I mean, we've been on anti-fascist marches and stuff like that, and kind of very left. We were brought up in working class, left-wing households. So, I mean, it's all started with this thing about statues. On a perceived level, like this kind of ground level, with people are out protesting for and against these statues. For me, I can see people who are saying that these statues are a symbol of slavery, a symbol of how the South used to be in their regards to black people. I don't think there's much of an argument against that. I think when you look at other kind of fascist regimes like that, I mean, the big example obviously would be somewhere like Germany. There's not many statues of Hitler around to remind us of who Hitler was, or the people who, but I can totally understand somebody saying, well, the people who fought for Hitler, the working class, because not everybody was a member of the Nazi party. You know, people were conscripted into the German army or went to fight for Germany or Austria. You know, they weren't all Nazis. So these people who died, and I think that's the same for the people in the southern states. I mean, the Ken Burns documentary, The Civil War's an absolute epic piece of documentary filmmaking, but it sometimes gives a kind of very rosy view of the South, the southern gentleman. But these were kind of working class farmhands who, the big master in general and politician who fucking owned the big plantations and made all the millions for the slaves, they never went off and fucking fought at Gettysburg. They sent the guy that fucking works for them, or the guy who runs the mill, or the guy who works, these were the people who went out and died. Now, they might have been fucking the most racist person on the planet, but let's be honest, in that time, these uneducated people were sent to the slaughter on both sides by politicians who were fighting for ideologies. For me, the ideology of the North, as much as a lot of people on the alt-right are saying this, it's not, the Civil War wasn't really about slavery, it was about states' rights and all that sort of, at the heart, it was a big argument against the abolition of slavery, because southern states were getting free labour. Again, it comes down to money. All these things always come down to money. The North was paying higher wages to people because they had to pay people to go and work in factories and work in boats and work in fields and go to fucking dig the roads. Whereas in the South they went, there's a black guy, I own him, he can go and pick my cotton, he can go and dig my road, and if he doesn't, I'll fucking kill him, I'll hang him. And the torture of these people was fucking absolutely horrendous. So for me, the abolition of slavery and the South having lost, and this kind of, the ideology still permits through these kind of symbols, the Confederate flag and these statues. I don't know, it was a good wee documentary, and I don't know if you've seen it, but it's about how when the statues they're pulling down fall down, they crumble. They're very cheap made statues because they're mass produced by big money in the South to perpetrate these ideas, which is very, very strange. But as you say, there's definitely, I mean, the Antifa guys, they, for me, they're the kind of, when you've got the Nazis on one side, or the alt-right, like the far-right guys, who are a small majority of that, then it's this white, the KKK guys, they're a very small majority, and when they fight each other, they don't, when the alt-left, as they call them, but it's not really true, when they fight, the fascists are joking about beating up fascists, that kind of besmirches that side for me. But, I mean, let's be honest, we all want to punch Nazis in the face. But the person who drove down that road and killed those people who are protesting, that's where it takes a different turn for me again. It's not just two different points of view and you need to read it. That's somebody going out to kill people for an ideology that I don't agree with 100%. That's where it becomes a terrorist act by its very nature. And I mean, you saw the pictures. I mean, these guys were fucking KKK members and Nazis. They were protesting, or they were walking and marching, and they had like fucking full combat Kevlar gear on and all that, machine guns.
It's America, though.
Aye, but
America,
to be honest,
yeah.
but to be fair, if that was 100 black guys doing that, I think the police response would be a lot different. Or if it was 100 Native American guys standing on their fucking sovereign treaty land.
If it's 100 Native Americans who bring in the fucking military.
Yeah, exactly. So there is
water cannon.
There is a disparity against how these things are measured. Now, the whole the ideology of like the alt-left guys, Black Lives Matter, they're correct, and these alt-right guys are wrong. There is this myth, and we've spoken about this before, where it's if you're male and white, there's white privilege and you cannot moan against anything, and there's a kind of backlash against that. I think that's why these groups are getting so much. You saw it when all these guys get their picture taken. They just thought they were being, they were countering what they perceive as slights against them, and then they're in the paper and they're greeting because they've lost their job. Whereas I think there's a kind of working class, especially probably more in the south of America, not South America, but the south of America, that, let's be honest, rich, white, middle class, upper class kids at posh universities go in these protests and peaceful marches and kind of talk down to other white people who these guys at universities and colleges, they probably have never had any sort of kind of grievance or, you know, slight against them. So, you know, so there is definitely that side, but and I think Antifa really play up against that as well.
That's it. I think most of the times, for me, it's about class, no race. There's the class divide.
It's these identity
a poor
politics.
Mexican, a poor white guy, a poor black guy. It's just a fucking poor guy. I mean, they have no power. They have no poorly educated, poorly hangway, poorly. It's like, you're in a shitstorm.
And it's kind of superior kind of people who are using these identity politics to kind of, like, I'm not saying it's true, it might be, but my perception is there is a level of something like Black Lives Matter where it's an ideology. It's not about kind of wee slights that's still happening to black people, and there are big slights, and I can totally see that, but they're using it, and it's also somebody like the Trump administration and how they've used that counter for kind of white working class people to kind of take that kind of right wing stance, and they're both at some level are covering up the fact that it's probably fucking big money men that just, you know, they want to put their ideologies across. I mean, the thing with Trump is, for him it would have been, I don't know why he just didn't come on and say the person who drove down that road was a terrorist and condemn those actions. Then the next day come out with your pish about there was trouble on both sides, because there probably was trouble on those fringes, like the anti-fascist total left wing, you know, because we get it here in Britain, we always have the May Day march, and the anarchists have a great time because they go in London and they fucking batter a Starbucks and they trash a McDonald's and they put a stupid wig on Winston Churchill's statue. You know what I mean? We have those guys, and to me they don't really represent the left for me, but there is that comparison. So there are these fringes where they'll just take violence as the means, and they'll fight, and that's, Trump should just have come out and said, not the guy who drove that car, terrorist, you couldn't, but he didn't, because he's so self-absorbed with himself that he's a fucking, him himself is I don't know, I mean, it can't really be an idiot because he's the fucking president of America, but to get that high, but he just, I don't know, I've lost my train of thought there.
Yeah, no, it's good. I think obviously there's a lot happening in America just now. There's a lot of I wouldn't just say anger, but there is a resurgence of people that are starting to, even though I started by saying Americans could even find North Korea on the map, there is a resurgence of people thinking and reading about ideologies, be it the right or the left, thinking about where they want their politics to go, especially when you see loads and loads of people going to like local political surgeries and stuff, and basically shouting down the member of Congress who is not doing what they said they were going to do, and bringing politics back to the local. So there's definitely a lot happening in America, and sometimes you need a big figure like Trump to you need to smell the shit to smell the roses.
Yeah.
Again, if you're always smelling roses, you forget what roses smell like.
Well, I think a lot of these politicians have had it kind of easy. You know, America's a very big place, and they kind of just, and we've had this in this country where there's an old MP who's sat in a seat for 25 years. He just gets voted in every time. Doesn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Brian Donohoe.
Well, Brian Donohoe's he was our MP, Labour man. And
it's all flying his helicopters now.
But people are using these kind of surgeries because, let's be honest, Trump has been a bit of a disaster. He's kind of backpedaling on all these big promises that he was going to make. He's doing that fucking thing that, like, it was North Korea last week. It's Afghanistan this week. It's always good for a sitting president if they can win a wee war.
See, just
or a prime minister. You know what I mean?
There is a few websites out there, different news platforms that go through Trump's manifesto and all the things that he has done so far in terms of finance, in terms of this, in terms of that. And from their perspective, there's loads that he's done, there's loads that he's stuck to, but they argue that the mainstream press is owned by globalists who are fundamentally against his agenda, so they will never broadcast what he's done because it's a propaganda war. And it's like we've seen how in many countries throughout the world the same strategy has been used by the Americans to create coups and take over countries, especially in South America, using private TV and private radio to establish dissent. And what a lot of Trump supporters are essentially saying is that that's what's happening to him. They are the Rupert Murdochs of the world are playing a sabotage game against him.
Well, he doesn't. He does seem to like to help them do that. You know what I mean? He does seem to be fucking complicit. And you know, he has been on record saying, like, I didn't expect this job to be that hard. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Come on, Donald. Stop hanging about with Kanye West. And
his Secret Service budget has already been spent for this financial year. Like, and the people that protect him, close protection service and stuff, it's already been spent for this year.
Yeah. The fact that they have a budget for that, like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, no president has been overspending that budget. I mean, John F. Kennedy fucking saved thousands on it. But there's like, there must come a point where, like, there's a budget for this, by the way. It's like, it doesn't matter. But, you know, because nobody ever questioned it, and all of a sudden he's like, fuck, I'm going to play golf.
There was
like, I don't think he realised that for him to go and play golf, the amount of fucking work it used to just be him would phone up the golf course and go, I'm coming to play golf, get me a steak for the 16th hole. You know what I mean? Now it's a whole operation for him to go and play golf.
Oh, I
really don't think I understood the job he was taking on.
There was a tweet I seen the other day, and it was it's the Treasury dude's wife, and she was going off a Air Force One kind of looking plane, an American taxpayer plane.
Yeah. And
she was looking fine. She had all the dress and all that good stuff, but all the hashtags were things like, I don't know the brands, so I'll just say like Prada and Energetic Mind and whatever kind of high quality brands there were. And the people underneath had basically said, again, things like, I think it's fantastic you're spending our taxpayer money so you can go on shopping trips and all that sort of stuff. And she replied with this kind of big thing about basically how she's given more, and she she never said she'd give more. She said like how much she'd given and how much her and her husband give in terms of how much they pay in tax. And do you think you've paid me? But when you read it, what the message coming through was, I've paid loads of tax, therefore I'm entitled to this. Yeah, I'm entitled to fly on this aeroplane at your expense because I've paid so much tax because I'm fucking educated in the inner circle and privileged, you know.
Let them eat cake.
That's it. What happened in the French Revolution?
Same thing that should have happened over here. Off with their heads. Off
with their heads. But at the same time, you know, there's something there advocating off with their heads. But 10 minutes earlier, we were saying about the left and the black bloc who go and smash windows and stuff do not represent our ideologies of the left. And I suppose that's one of the things that happens a lot in discussions with people. People don't really know what it is or how extreme their views are until they see it.
Yeah.
And then they go, alright, I never actually meant like fucking throwing that cinder block through that building whilst we toppled 30 cars and set them on fire running down a street. Like, I've seen that in London. When I stayed in London, I was in the middle of a bit of craziness, and you're like, this is craziness. It's like, and that bit where you go, like, I've been drinking beer, but at the pub, I need to go home, and you can't actually get out of the kettle, when they're pushed you in, and you're like, look, I just need to pee. I'm no causing trouble. I was in that pub earlier.
Yeah.
I can no longer get to that pub because the kettle's kind of moved past. I need to pee, and they're just getting big guy in riot gear saying, basically, no, you can't pee. I'm like, can I pee against that tree? And I let you pee against that tree, get arrested. You're like, I can't win here. Like, I literally can't win. There's people jumping on cars there, burning shit, and I just need to pee. Like, seriously.
I think that's...
I need to pee.
Is that not how the Iranian Revolution started? Just some guy needing a piss and he was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Fuck this Shah, whatever the fuck he's doing. I need a piss.
I'm getting through this line.
Yeah, I mean, it's... We try to lead our glorious revolutions through the democratic powers, but those who are above us seem to be too powerful, Rob. And there's only one way to take them down. That's with sarcastic comments on a podcast.
That's it. At least in some respects you're doing something. I mean, you're talking, you're discussing things, you're putting ideas forward, giving alternatives, creating debate.
I think we could leave this subject, but I'll leave it with one quote that I think sums it up. There are only two things I can't stand in this world: people who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch. So
that's like the classic God give me patience and give me it now.
Yes.
Love it. Right, so let's move on to the biggest event in sporting history. Mayweather, the American boxer, versus the Irishman Conor McGregor,
the Jippo himself.
So, first off, who's going to win?
Right, so are we taking this seriously? Are we going to take it seriously?
Oh, I like taking this seriously.
Okay, I'll take it. I would love McGregor to win. Just for the sheer... You know, there was always that one guy at school who was just a bit nuts. You know, and you thought, I don't know, I mean, I could probably... like the biggest guy in school, like the biggest fighter, and you know, like big rugby player or something like that, and you think, you know, there's always that crazy guy who, if you pushed him, and he would end up fighting the big rugby guy, just didn't give a fuck. And sometimes the wee weedy crazy guy would win, and you think, fuck, I don't want to mess with him, and then he would be back to, you know, eating paste and all that. Colin McGregor's that kind of eating paste, fucking just mentalist, who, I mean, the thing about Mayweather is, like, so if we goes against him, he's old, which is fucking bullshit. He's only 3 years older than us, and but he was he not like the best defensive middleweight of the past 30 years?
Of all time.
Of all time. So basically his stick was, you can hit me as hard as you can, I will move at the road, I will counter punch, I will just defend and be the best at countering. Whereas McGregor's just a fucking gung-ho fucking guy's just going to punch all day.
Well, I think
I
analysis is
a bit
flawed, but
I can't see McGregor. I was fucking, it'd be hilarious if he just knocked him. To be fair, the best bit it's already been when they did that, let's go to press conferences and shout at each other for 20 minutes. You know, it's, I'm going to have to bring it up. Is this a fake fight?
Well, there has been a lot of people questioning that.
Because how much money are these two guys making? See if Colin McGregor fires up in my feed trying to sell me something. I mean, he must do about 50 adverts. Right, he's doing about 50 adverts, getting paid.
Toothpaste.
I don't know how Mayweather's expenses are, but you know how these boxers get once they retire? They've still got that entourage of 50 guys who go, you're the best champ, you're the best champ. He's like, I'm not fighting anyway, I'm just in a shit. You're the best shitter, champ, you're the best shit. There's like 50 of them. And so he's still got to pay for all these guys. He's probably got, I don't know how many X's and all his expenses, and he's got a business that doesn't make money anymore because he's not boxing. So he's going to make a cool X amount of millions doing this. So is it just a big bullshit fake fight, or they're kind of like wrestling is? Whoa!
Well,
fucking here comes the wrestling.
I don't think it is a fake fight. Obviously, Mayweather is old. As you say, he's just a couple of years older than us. He's got a 49-0 record. He's a defensive boxer. He is a boxer. Which, if you think about the colour spectrum, he is the colour red. And Conor McGregor is used to fighting. If you say the colour spectrum is 10 centimetres in width, McGregor's colour spectrum has all the colours, but it's 10 centimetres. Mayweather's is still 10 centimetres, but it's only red. So obviously the width of his red and the dynamic range of his red is so much more. Like, again, up until now, Conor just had a wee bit of red because he had all the other colours that he had to work on. But now he's expanded that. But in expanding that, he's kept a lot of the other colours. So he's maybe got 80% red, and all the other colours are still within that 10 centimetres, or maybe a centimetre a piece. But the thing is, all the other colours. But the thing is, karate isn't just about kicking. Karate has a whole host of striking techniques. Taekwondo has a whole of striking techniques. All these different martial arts that Conor McGregor has borrowed from in the past have striking techniques which are hand striking techniques. And the problem that Mayweather is going to encounter, the way I see it, is his red bit that's 10 centimetres wide is only red. He's never countered or encountered someone who is going to be able to strike like a boxer but have a stance like a karate guy, or move like a taekwondo guy that can cover distance, and he'll be like right out, switching stance, doing crazy kind of things. And from my personal experience in sparring with boxers, when you go a bit crazy and you do kind of different traditional kind of stuff, they adapt and that sort of stuff. But at the same time, when you throw anything at anybody that's new, they kind of get stumped. And we've seen this in mixed martial arts lots. There was a guy called, and you probably remember him, Lyoto Machida. He was the guy that drank his own piss. And Lyoto Machida was a karate guy. And when he came in, everybody was used to a Muay Thai style of kicking. And they kick for the side and you check. Whereas he kicked straight down the pipe. And nobody knew what the fuck was happening. They were just getting kicked in the fucking chin, and they were like, no, I know how to check a kick. I know how to protect. But they knew how to protect a kick. But from a Thai boxing style, they hadn't encountered the karate kick yet. Or nobody of that high level had been using it. And this, I think, what's going to happen in this match is you're going to have a traditional boxer with the best skills that's ever been, but the guy he's fighting isn't in any way traditional. The thing is, Conor can learn all they can and bring in loads of traditional boxers and do the sparring, but fucking Mayweather would have to bring in shed loads of different people for loads of different martial arts disciplines and say you can't kick but you can move and you can still strike and try and deal with it. Like, there's so much from my perspective in the favour of McGregor. He's younger, he's stronger, he's a multiple world champion just like Mayweather, so he's well driven, and I think the most important thing in any combat sports, he believes in himself. His confidence is through the roof. He actually believes the shit he says.
Yeah. No, he's got confidence again.
Like,
coming out his eyeballs.
I can't. I've bet against him every time in the UFC and MMA in general, and he's won every time that I've tried to bet against him. I bet for Nate Diaz, but I never bet against Nate Diaz because he's amazing. So I think he could shock the world. Saying that, if Mayweather just plays defensive, stays back and moves about and avoids the shots and plays the safe game, then he might win. But I just think it's weird when you spar with somebody who doesn't do what you're expecting them to do. It's like, alright, you go to spar and then like somebody throws both hands at the same time.
Yeah.
You're just like, what the fuck is that? Like, your brain does a brain fart. You know, it like the thing with Floyd Mayweather is he's been boxing that long, he's been at that level, he doesn't think about anything. His brain is completely in lizard mode, you know what I mean? It's totally unconscious, it's totally reactive. But when somebody throws some crazy shit at you, it brings it back into the conscious.
Yeah.
And he has to, like, and we're talking like a fraction of a second. And that's almost everything that Conor McGregor's camp will be doing, is trying to bring Mayweather out of that 40 years of unconscious, reactive, reptile brain boxing into the conscious by going, what the fuck did he just do there? He just shuffled his feet and jumped back like he was in a fencing contest.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck is this guy doing? Is he for real? And he'll be having an inner dialogue, and that's when, like, McGregor will be in his lizard brain. He'll be unconsciously reactive and fast, and I think it's big money though. You know what I mean? The
no, definitely.
You know, obviously out here I think it's 20 quid for a pay-per-view. But in America it's like $100, and then some of the really expensive things like 100,000 for ringside and that kind of shit.
Well, we leave it with the Right Honourable Frankie Boyle. What you said about the fight. Frankie, I don't know if people on outside the UK know who Frankie Boyle is, but he's a comedian, Scottish guy, hilarious. He said in 2 tweets, "It's about time we found out whether a non-boxer can beat the world's best boxer at boxing. Don't get me wrong, I think someone trying to beat possibly history's best defensive boxer purely by being a mad cunt is actually beautiful." And I think we can agree with Frankie in that one.
Frank is usually on the ball with his tweets and
Yes, he's a good guy. Good beard.
Hey, so McGregor and Mayweather, and
Done.
Are we?
So we're going to have a wager then. Who do you think is going to win? A pound.
Okay.
A Scottish pound note.
McGregor.
Right, I'll say. I think the fucking mad bastard might win as well. If I'll go McGregor as well, and if he wins, we'll give the pound to charity. Guide dogs for the blind.
And because they'll be like, what the fuck's this? A pound note?
It's fucking legal. It's legal tender, you dick.
You probably sell it for about fucking 30 quid a pound note. I've not seen one of them in ages.
I think they must be out of circulation now because the old pound coins, the wee machine in Sainsbury's doesn't take them anymore. Getting ready to try to buy my milk in the morning.
And I was away camping. There was a laundrette in one of the campsites, and it was a French woman trying to do her clays, and she was like, "Do you have any old pound coins?" I was like, "Are you fucking shitting me? Are you serious? Do you have an old pound coin?" She says the laundry machine only takes old pound coins. I was like, "Well, you're not getting your clays washed then."
Aye, I'm Rob Wallace. I don't carry cash, love. Fuck off. I'm like the Queen. That's what he said to her.
It's like old pound coins, man. When was the last time you had one of them?
Excuse me, sir, do you have any old pound coins? It's like, where the fuck are you from? France? Fuck off. Any old euros?
I think this is an episode of Outlander. Fuck off.
So you didn't even have a wee look at your wallet, you just totally blanked her because you got a old pound coin.
And see that's the thing, Ken. It's slagging French people for their French onion soup and their fucking garlic necklaces and their fucking... I mean, yeah, that could be seen as racist. But at the same time, it was like...
asking for the help of a young man. It's again totally... What did you say? Old pound coins? Fuck off back to France, land you. I'm not with it.
This is my country.
Locked in your pocket, you had two. You're like, I don't get them.
And then
do my washing.
And then make some preposterous claim like, "We freed you for the Germans." The rest for us. You better be here.
Aye. Cheese eating surrender monkey. Fuck off.
That's a bit where they say.
I love France, by the way. It's really nice.
I've been to France.
It's a
beautiful country. Beautiful language, a language of love.
Yeah.
And they don't sell fresh milk. It's just like bags of milk. It's fresh, but it's like a bag of fucking milk. And it's like that kind of that long lived milk.
Aye.
You ever seen the Quentin Tarantino movie where he goes to France and the only thing he can bring back for France in terms of a cultural fucking thing, Quentin Tarantino, the writer, was that a fucking Big Mac was called a Le Royal with cheese. And I'm watching that.
A Big Mac is called Le Big Mac.
Le Big Mac.
A quarter pounder with cheese is called a Royal with cheese because they don't have the metric system.
So that was.
So what the fuck they call a Whopper? Did they go into Burger King? See, Rob, we're talking about Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, right? So, like, culturally, you go to France, you come away from France, and you're an American, and the only thing you can fucking write about and put in your movie, the only thing that you have culturally is about hamburgers. Whereas two Scottish guys talking about France, and I can tell you that they don't have fresh milk. It's all that fucking extra pasteurised long live shit. See, that's culture. Culture.
Yes. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Right, so we're going to move on to the last subject, a very serious subject. A wee 10 minutes on this and brush this into the finale. Did the ancient gods exist?
No.
Hey, that's the end of the podcast, folks.
You get another 9 minutes of filler.
So, what I've wrote here, and if they did...
no, but...
Were they? No, they didn't exist, Rob. Shut the fuck up. Gods don't exist.
I'm quite happy.
So, were they gods? Were they kind of like super beings? Or like crazy mental skills and stuff? Because they never had like computers and TVs and all that kind of stuff. Did they develop like super mental, meditative, kind of healing, kind of... Were they all like Jesus, kind of Lao Tzu, meditating Messiah motherfuckers?
A lot of meditating and on the sounds of it.
Well, that's how you develop the super brain, you know.
So it's kind of ancient gods we talk, just ancient gods in general, or
you know, the Greek gods, the Mesopotamian gods, the South American, kind of Aztec, Olmec, Mayan kind of gods, Quetzalcoatl, the flying serpent, etc., right through to kind of various different African gods, tribal gods from all over the continent of Africa, all the different countries, to India, the folk who wrote the Upanishads and all the different kind of gods that they have, Vishnu and Krishna and whoever, through to China and Taoism, all the different gods that are in Taoism. And did these cats... And I don't mean exist in a physical sense, maybe in a kind of possibly you take like fucking magic mushrooms and stuff like that, and you go into the upper atmosphere of your own mind, and maybe pass over to some super vibration where entities exist.
Well, in that case, yes.
But what I'm saying there is that I don't just mean they exist like in your head, but that chemical substance allowed you to enter a portal or a dimension or a doorway which where these entities are real, where they exist, where they and I suppose a lot of magic, that's how real magic, your kind of Aleister Crowley kind of magic, that's what a lot of they reckon how it works. I mean, you do a ritual, you do a particular thing cleansing your space, all the different things, smelling good, etc., at a particular time and date, following a particular symbolism and ritual to enter a particular space where you can commune with an entity, a god that is real. Or there could have been aliens.
Well,
you know,
I think we know the answer to that is yes, of course it was aliens. I've discussed this many times.
I like that.
But on the flip side of that, it wasn't aliens. I think I spend too much of my days staring at the nihilist memes. That's like, 6 hours a day is too much. It does start to affect you.
Well, I think what we just concluded there was that the ancient gods did not exist, therefore religion is full of shite. Islam, Christianity, Judaism, it's all bullshit.
Thank God you added extra ones here after Islam. those guys,
all religions are full of shite.
Yes. Yeah. Not just that one that takes stuff a wee bit too seriously these days.
But also,
you know who you are. Also,
I think science is full of shite as well, because if you think about it, and I don't mean like, obviously, a TV works and I know it works, therefore science isn't shite. But what I'm saying is a lot of science at the minute seems to be funded by, just to be politics, is kind of funded by the people who want the kind of results or the things that they want. There's a lot of science at the minute which is pushed, and a lot of scientists that kind of get the cash. Might be the next fucking Tesla, but they kind of get the cash, whereas there's always funding to prove that sugar is good, and tobacco is not as harmful as what we all know it is. Kind of science. So that's still science, but it's obviously paid for, and it's got a kind of outcome, even though it should not have an outcome. It should be like test this and see if it's like test this. Remember who's paying the fucking bills.
But I mean, the ancient gods. I mean, it'd be quite interesting. I've not looked into it that much. We'll maybe come back to it another time. I think would be good. We can come over to see the similarities between continents, and then, you know, see what people of certain times were concluding, and then we can make those join those dots, and then
there's a lot of similarities between a lot of different archetypes of God, or gods.
I think it might be a good idea for us to maybe research that a wee bit, look past the illusion and come back and discuss that, because I think that's something I'd be more interested in than me just dismissing it offhand, as I often do.
No, I think that's a very valid point, you know, and before the kind of big major monotheistic religions, obviously I would assume first we had kind of Homo sapiens, kind of Neanderthals, Deisodians, etc., kicking about, having sex, eating, scratching their ass, and then at some point through the regular use of hallucinogenics, they discover whole other dimensions where there's entities, beings, etc., etc. Through time, shamans develop particular rituals and song and kind of ways of getting to these spaces more efficiently, or can contacting particular entities, or whatever. And then through time, that skill gets lost. These kind of rituals and shite turn into wafers and drinking wine instead of blood, and preaching to some kind of fictitious white bearded man in the sky that's got a triple level of existence, and spews out his son as kind of infinite godchild, etc., etc. I think kind of all starts for somebody taking mushrooms in a field.
Cool.
So I think that's us coming to an end of once again yet another fantastic episode of Everything's an Illusion.
I think
podcast.
we need to promise to the listener out there. Hi Frank. That we need to get back into more. Well, summer holidays are by, Rob. It's time to get down to fucking business. Let's stop. We go away for 8 weeks in the summer holidays.
A regular cast, is that what we're talking about?
And what fucking happens?
A regular cast can be done, definitely.
You get fucking out of hand. You fucking start all your pish. The world goes tits up. We need to come back and right these wrongs and sit and fix it. Because the more people that listen to this, the more confused they are, and the less likely they are to do. They're just going to sit in their arses, watch Game of Thrones, love it, discuss it, and then think, wonder what the French are up to.
Well, that's it. I think if anything, we give people some food for thought and some ideas, and obviously all the show notes and some links and shite is obviously on the page, so again, people can go there and obviously click on the Google adverts and make some cash. And as you say,
get in touch, let us know.
If it incites some discussion, and it's a positive thing.
Yep.
And as you say, let us know. Greg has a Twitter handle, which is
BFaethecP, BFAETHECP. It's full of hilarious retweets of people falling over and my ramblings about biscuits.
There we go, and that'll be on the everythingsanillusion.com website. All the latest podcasts are on the front page. Click on that, it goes to the main page for that particular podcast, show notes, adverts and links to theenergeticmind.com, which is a fantastic place to get yourself some t-shirts. We now have a UK and a USA shop, so the same designs can be purchased anywhere, essentially anywhere in the world, but specifically a UK and a USA shop. And it's just t-shirts now, selling fantastic designs. And Smartphone Media Production, fantastic book that shows you how to use your smartphone for photography, video, live streaming, etc. Don't be that loser that live streams and looks at his screen instead of the camera. Learn fantastic tricks like that and more with a copy for yourself. That was a good pitch there. I thought, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
You must have seen that a lot of time, people live streaming, and they're fucking looking at the screen, and you're like, they're not looking at you, and they don't realise that when you do a selfie stream, if you like, on a phone, the camera's at a tap, and you need to look at the camera to have a direct line of contact with the person viewing it, and they're looking at the screen. And that does my tits in, and that's one of the fantastic, it's even on the cheat guide for Smartphone Media Production. Wee tips like that, hundreds of them. That was
the thing that sent Rob off to write the book. He was Skyping with somebody. He's like, look at the fucking camera! That's it, I'm going to write a book. There's my pen and paper. This fucker here, fucking dicking about, look at the camera! And so it was, the book began.
And just a little note on production, that the the book, in terms of the tone and seriousness of the book, is very different from the podcast. You're probably thinking, how could that person who's on this podcast actually write a book? Sounds like a savage.
And you'd be right, I cannot write a book, so fuck you.
We all wear different hats and can take them on and off. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Everything's an Illusion podcast. Have a fantastic week. We will be back again with another fantastic... That's what we did conclude, wasn't it? That we're going to make some regular podcasts.
Yeah, I think so. We need to get back into it. Get those fucking numbers up. I
like it.
Get the listeners.
So we'll be back. Enjoy. Please interact, react, like, share, comment, and join the discussion on our Facebook page. Everything's an Illusion. Just check that on Facebook, you'll find us. There's nobody else with such an awesome handle. And until then, cheesy byes. Everything is an Illusion podcast is brought to you by Smartphone Media Production, the book. Use the power of your smartphone to create media for your business, project or group. Smartphone Media Production will show you how to plan, capture, edit, distribute and track your visions, all from your phone. The book includes cheat guides, best apps, worked examples and more. Get it at smartphonemediaproduction.com. And The Energetic Mind. Inspirational, thought-provoking images on t-shirts, canvases and more at theenergeticmind.com. Thank you, and remember, always